Okay, so it's been brought to my attention I did not cycle through while working inside PDF Stream Dumper in the GetPDF exercise. I think it was sometime after the 45-minute mark. So effectively, I figured I'd just pick this back up and kind of go through this aspect again. So effectively what I have here is the played out contents of the fcexploit.pdf as extracted. So we've got the various objects until we get to the massive lines of, let's see, so this is the interactive portion, popping the stuff out, and where we get to, what is this, object 7. So all this code here. And then if I remember correctly, it should be object 9. This has now been like a week or two. Yeah, object 9. So we have these groupings of code. So effectively what I've done, and this is what I did. So this is the first batch. So this is object 7. It's basically just all the code from that ripped through. And then the same thing for object 9. It's just all the code that's in there, just in its extra portion. So, what I was talking about after the 45-minute mark, let me bring this down. And so this is, I've got the local copy of the video, since it's still within like a month. And so this is with the PDF loaded up, taking a look at, I think this is object 5. So you notice the code down there at the bottom. It's highlighted with the black highlight, white text. So basically, the most of that is, so you'll notice the very rightmost upper section of the first line, replace /x underscore 178447443x underscore 170987743 /g. And then it gives you the %sign in double quotations. So effectively, what I'm doing with that is, so I'm looking for these strings in these particular objects, and then I am running that stuff through, like a find and replace. So, since it wasn't shown, we're going to go up here to, and I'm going to change it to object. Oop. So we do show you the transformation in metaphorical real time. So I'm bringing up, really? You are going to be this big of a pain in the butt, aren't you? Yes, you're going to be that big of a pain in the butt. Let me see if I can add another window. Bear with me. Let me just call it capture 6 and set it for, ooh. Apparently that one we've got to do the bit BLT, Windows 7 and up, in order for that to show up. Okay, so that explains that. So, can I make this? Yeah, we can expand that up. So transition. Okay, there we go. Now she's showing up. Okay, now from that, we are taking 8, 9, as per the code. So this would have been third line, leftmost. So A9, or 8, 9, AF, 50, delta. And I'm still apparently having an issue with my keyboard because I have not restarted. So we're basically taking this in here. So let me move this. And try to sit there and clean this up a little bit. Okay. So you've got, now in the upper left-hand corner of the screen, there is the PDF stream dumper that's showing the code. Now, how I found this is obviously that in Object 7, there is no X listed there. It's all hexadecimal, so the highest it goes is F. So I kind of did a little bit of, pattern matching in that particular aspect. But you can see, so, and of course it's not capturing the mouse input, but so you see roughly to the left of. So we bring that close. So 8-9 Alpha Frank 5-0 Delta to be replaced by the percentage point or percentage symbol. So we go ahead and run that. And now we get a bunch of, let me get these out of the way now. We've gone through and done this. So now we have all of this fun stuff. So we're going to grab that. Do I still have CyberChef up? Yes, I still have CyberChef up. Okay. And so let's take Notepad down. So effectively the items that were in, oh, hang on. Okay, so all the text changed, everything else like that. So all I've done is taken now the converted text that we had, that we just did the replace all function on, dump it into CyberChef in the top right section, change it from hex, and now we get basically all this section of code here. So it talks about the shell code, unescape, memory, everything else like that. So I copied that off to one of the subsequent items in Notepad to save that off to go through and do further work on, because it should be these portions that I'm stripping individual sections out to run through SCDBG. In order to get some sort of, yeah, it's the var shellcode section that I'm grabbing, I believe, to go through, run that through, because that stuff will go through, do the shellcode, and that's what ends up giving the location of like where it's pulling the file and then where it saves it on the local host to be, what was it, that a.exe. And then for the same portion, so going back to trying to find all the windows that are exactly the same. All right, so we switch this over. So I've got Notepad loaded back up in the background. Again, this is the tab I have open for Object 9. You'll notice that this one has the underscores and the X's in it, everything else like that. And so here, I'm taking the X underscore 178447443 underscore X, or no, X underscore 170987743. And it's the same portion. I am replacing this character path with a percentage sign. Replace all. Looks a lot like the other one. A lot of hex. And then I'm grabbing all that. And just like previously, and then going into CyberChef, same recipe from hex, popping it in there. And now we've got another section of 2 sections of payload as that stuff runs through. And then basically I'm again selecting all, copying, dumping it into another subsection, another tab in Notepad++, to then basically divvy it out to just the payload sections or the shellcode sections, to then feed that as demonstrated later in the SCDBG application. So that's what was going on from that particular aspect. And that code was the stuff that was showing up when PDF Streamer was opened up and it was looking at object 5. Since that was the JS code that you could actually read, and then everything else was, 7 and 9 were the encrypted the encoded blobs of code. But that's effectively where that falls out from. And I'm seeing as to whether or not if I can quickly be able to do this in real time without having it crap out. I'm trying. Okay, so that's PDF Streamer. Now I gotta try to remember, how did I get... Boy. Well, that at least finds CVE 2009-1492 when I run the exploit. There we go. Okay. Again, one moment. There we go. So there's it live. So, and I hate the fact that this is just being such a pain in the posterior. I modified the size of the file, or the window. So let me return this back up to full size here. Transition through. So here is the view. So here's the code as the stuff runs through. With all that stuff there, go up to JavaScript UI, open it up, and then and that is from having Object 5 loaded up. And then I had to change the app view. That's why I ended up having the issues show up. It defaults to 9.2, and apparently it does not like that in terms of code. But the code doesn't otherwise change. Oh, now apparently I run it in 9.2, and now it resolves perfectly fine. Gotta love the demo gods. But so effectively, that's where we got the code, and that's where I got the idea to go through and do, because if you read the decoded aspect, you notice replace, and then it gives you the two variables, if I'm remembering everything correctly. So it wants you to replace the, x underscore 178444743 x underscore 170987743 with %. And so that's how, just by reading it and going through that aspect, is how we ended up reaching that point. So hopefully that explains the area where I didn't have this actually flashed up, so you can see everything else that was done in order to continue further along in the exercise if you're trying to do it yourself at the same time. So I'm not super enthusiastic that I missed that particular aspect, but at least somebody was kind enough to be like, hey, you're talking about PDF streamer or stream dumper, but we can't see it. So gotta go back and sit there and make sure that all this stuff's just up to snuff. So I'll get this pushed out here shortly, even though it's been, well, it's now Sunday. So it's been Thursday, Friday, Saturday, so almost 4 days since the stuff came out. But this will just get posted right alongside it and just go from there. But so, oh, and then shout out Jim E. Lee on YouTube, as he's the one that brought up to the fact that it was still apparently showing Remnox at the time I was sitting there talking about the PDF stream dumper application. But so there we go. That's the I believe the aspect that was missed in terms of just basically talking about it while the screen's not showing what I'm trying to go through and do. So hopefully this is a little bit better view with everything, and hopefully I didn't screw it up again. I wouldn't put it past it that I just made something else worse, but oh well. And we'll just make another video. It'll just be a continually endless cycle. But there we go. So there's the GetPDF exercise from CyberDefenders follow-up in regards to the use of PDF Stream Dumper to go through and do the coding changes in order to actually grab the shell code or anything else along those lines from that particular aspect. So with all that being said, I will see everybody in the next video.